Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to speak directly to the part of you that knows there's more. The part of you that dreams bigger, reaches higher, and believes deep down that life was meant to be more than just surviving day to day. I want to speak to the part of you that's been waiting for the right time, waiting for the perfect opportunity, waiting for that magical moment when everything finally feels just right. But here's the question I have for you. What if that perfect moment never comes? You see, we live in a world that glorifies waiting. Wait until you have more money. Wait until you feel confident. Wait until the kids grow up. Wait until the timing makes more sense. And in the meantime, we put our dreams on hold. We put our goals on pause. And worst of all, we put ourselves on the back burner. You've got something inside of you, a fire, a vision, a purpose. But if you keep telling yourself that you'll start someday, you're slowly extinguishing that fire. Because someday is not a day of the week. Someday is not promised. And someday will keep you trapped in a life of potential that never becomes reality. Here's what I need you to understand. You don't need permission to start. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need every question answered or every doubt erased. You just need to decide. Right here, right now. Because the truth is, greatness isn't found in perfection. It's found in progress. And progress only begins when you stop waiting and start doing. The people who achieve the life they dream of aren't the ones who had everything figured out. They are the ones who had the courage to take messy, imperfect, sometimes scary action. They moved even when they were uncertain. They started even when they were scared. And that, my friends, is what made all the difference. This moment, this very moment you're in, is not an accident. It's not meaningless. It's not just another ordinary point in time. It's a door, a decision, a divine invitation to step into the life you were meant to live. So I invite you today to stop waiting. Stop postponing your potential. Stop shrinking yourself for the comfort of certainty. You were not created to live a life of hesitation. You were created to move boldly in the direction of your calling. Whether you're building a business, writing a book, healing from heartbreak, or simply trying to become a better version of yourself, this moment is your starting line. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to stop living life on pause. It's time to hit play, to act, to rise, to grow, not when it's perfect, but while it's still possible. Because the only thing standing between the life you have and the life you want is the choice to start right now. The myth of the perfect moment. Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you something that may resonate deeply within you. How many times have you found yourself telling yourself, I'll start tomorrow? You've said, I'll wait for the perfect moment to take that leap, to make that change, to follow that dream. How often have you convinced yourself that when the time is just right, when things calm down, when the circumstances align, when you feel completely ready, that's when you'll act? We've all been there. And let me tell you, there's a trap in that thinking. We live in a world that constantly pushes us to wait for things to be perfect. We're told we need the perfect job, the perfect circumstances, the perfect partner, and yes, the perfect moment. But here's the hard truth. The perfect moment doesn't exist. If you're waiting for everything to fall into place perfectly, you're setting yourself up for a lifetime of inaction. The perfect moment is a myth. There will always be something in your life that feels uncertain, something that feels out of your control. You can wait for the stars to align for the rest of your life, and chances are they never will. Think about it. How often have you waited for just the right time? Maybe it was to start that workout routine, to begin a new business, to pick up a new skill, or even to have that difficult conversation with someone. You told yourself, once things calm down, or once I have more experience, or once I have more confidence. But as time passes, the perfect moment is always out of reach. And while you wait, life keeps moving forward. You keep postponing your growth, your success, and your happiness. This is the hidden danger of waiting for the perfect moment. It robs you of the opportunity to take action. And without action, there can be no progress. You can't learn if you don't try. You can't improve if you don't take the first step. You can't grow if you don't push yourself outside of your comfort zone. The longer you wait, the more you lose. You lose time, you lose momentum, and most importantly, you lose your chance to grow into the person you're meant to be. If you keep waiting for that perfect moment, you might end up waiting your whole life away. So why do we keep waiting? Why do we keep falling into this trap? The answer is fear. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of not being good enough. We think that if we wait for the perfect moment, then we will have the perfect plan, the perfect outcome, and the perfect success. But waiting just creates more fear, more doubt, and more hesitation. What if I told you that waiting for the perfect moment is the thing that's holding you back from achieving everything you want? What if the perfect moment is a lie you've been telling yourself to stay safe, to avoid risk, to avoid discomfort? The truth is, waiting doesn't protect you from failure. It delays your success. It's a form of procrastination disguised as caution. The only way to move forward is to embrace imperfection, to accept that the perfect moment will never come. What you need to do is act now, in the present, with what you have, where you are. It's not about waiting for everything to align. It's about deciding to make progress regardless of your circumstances. The time to begin is always now. The best way to predict your future is not by waiting, but by taking action today. You will never know how much you can achieve unless you step out of your comfort zone and take that first step. And trust me, it will be worth it. The perfect moment doesn't exist, but you can make this moment perfect by taking action. The power of taking action. Let's take a moment to talk about the true power that lies in action. Far too often, we get so consumed by the idea of waiting for the right moment that we forget how transformative simply taking action can be. Action is the antidote to fear. It's the key to breaking free from the chains of procrastination and self-doubt that keep us stuck in a cycle of inaction. Imagine this. You have a dream, a vision, a goal. It might be something big, something that seems out of reach right now. Maybe it's starting a business, traveling the world, or writing that book you've been thinking about for years. You've been dreaming about it, imagining it, but you're hesitant to take the first step. Why? Because you're waiting for the perfect conditions, the perfect timing. But here's the truth. If you keep waiting for that perfect moment, you might be waiting forever. The world doesn't wait for you to be ready. It keeps moving, and so should you. The key to turning dreams into reality lies in taking action. No, it doesn't have to be the perfect action. It doesn't have to be grand. It doesn't have to be flawless. It just needs to be something. Action, no matter how small, has the power to change everything. Think about when you first learned how to ride a bike. At first, you were probably terrified. You didn't know how to balance, you didn't know how to steer, and you might have even fallen a few times. But what made you a rider wasn't waiting until you had it all figured out. It was the simple act of getting on the bike and trying. Each time you fell, you learned something. Each time you pedaled, you got closer to mastering it. And eventually, you didn't just ride, you rode. Confidently, freely, and without thinking about it. That's the power of action. It's through doing, trying, failing, and learning that we grow. What's more, action fuels momentum. Have you ever noticed that once you get started on something, it gets easier? The hardest part is often the first step, the part where you push through your fears and doubts and simply move forward. But once you begin, you gain momentum. The more you do, the more you want to do. That's how success is built, by taking one small step after another, creating a ripple effect that leads to bigger, bolder actions over time. Let me be clear. You don't have to wait for perfection, nor do you have to have all the answers before you act. The beauty of action is that it reveals what you need to learn, what you need to adjust, and what you need to improve along the way. The only mistake you can truly make is not acting at all. Action is progress, action is learning, action is growth. Think about it. If you wait for everything to be perfect, you might find yourself in the same spot a year from now, still waiting. But if you take action today, even just a small step, you're one step closer to the life you want to create. You're learning, evolving, and expanding your potential. When you take action, you also give yourself permission to fail. And failure is not something to fear, it's something to embrace. Every successful person has failed at some point. Every entrepreneur has faced setbacks. Every artist has experienced rejection. But it's their willingness to take action despite failure, to keep going, even when things don't go as planned, that separates them from those who never try at all. So my message to you today is simple. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Act now with whatever you have, wherever you are. The time to start is always now. Don't wait until you feel ready, because you might never feel 100% ready. But once you start, you'll find the courage, the clarity, and the confidence to keep moving forward. Remember, action doesn't just bring results, it builds confidence, strengthens your resolve, and moves you one step closer to the life you've always dreamed of. The perfect moment doesn't exist, but taking action right now is the best moment you'll ever have. Embracing imperfection and moving forward. Now that we've discussed the importance of stopping the wait and taking action, let's dive deeper into one of the most powerful aspects of this entire journey, embracing imperfection. This is where most people get stuck and where so many dreams die before they even have a chance to blossom. The idea that everything must be perfect before you start is one of the biggest obstacles to success. It's time to shift that mindset and recognize that imperfection is not your enemy, it's your ally. Here's the harsh truth: perfection doesn't exist. No matter how much we strive for it, it will never come. The sooner you accept this, the sooner you can start living a life of action, growth, and fulfillment. Waiting for everything to be perfect before taking a step forward will only keep you standing still. Perfection is the enemy of progress. Let's talk about some of the most common reasons people wait for the perfect moment and how they can be overcome. One of the biggest reasons we wait is because we fear failure. The fear that things won't go according to plan. We want to ensure that our actions will lead to success, and the unknown feels scary. But here's the reality: failure is a natural part of growth. Without it, we don't learn. If everything went perfectly every time, we wouldn't have the grit, wisdom, or resilience that makes success so rewarding. In fact, when you embrace imperfection, you start to see that failure is not final, it's just feedback. Every time something doesn't go as planned, you have an opportunity to learn, adjust, and move forward stronger. It's through those moments of imperfection that your character is built, your skills are refined, and your dreams get closer to reality. So the next time something doesn't go as planned, instead of seeing it as a roadblock, think of it as a stepping stone. Another reason we wait for the perfect moment is because we get caught up in comparisons. We look at others and think they have it all figured out. They're doing it perfectly, so I need to do the same. But here's the thing. We don't see their struggles, their failures, or their imperfections. We only see the result. The truth is, everyone is winging it to some degree. No one has everything figured out. Even the most successful people didn't start out with perfect conditions. They took action, learned from their mistakes, and adapted along the way. If you're waiting for the perfect moment based on what others are doing, you're missing the point. Your journey is unique and your path is yours to create. Another crucial point is that when we wait for perfection, we put too much pressure on ourselves. We think that if we make one wrong move, it will ruin everything. But perfectionism is paralyzing. It stops us from trying. It keeps us stuck in a loop of second guessing and overthinking. The truth is, you will never be 100% ready, and that's perfectly okay. You don't need to have it all figured out to take that first step. I want to leave you with this thought. Perfection is a myth. Progress is what matters. Improvement is what matters. Growth is what matters. The moment you decide to embrace imperfection, you free yourself from the chains of self-doubt and fear. You stop waiting and start doing. And in that process, you'll discover something incredibly powerful. You are capable of more than you ever imagined. The journey toward your goals doesn't require perfection. It requires courage to act, a willingness to fail, and the openness to learn. Stop waiting for the perfect moment and start embracing the imperfect, messy, beautiful journey of becoming the person you're meant to be. Remember, every step forward, no matter how small, is progress. Don't let the fear of imperfection stop you from taking action. The perfect moment is a lie. The real moment is now. And the moment you start is the moment you begin to move toward the life you've always dreamed of. Let's be honest. Life isn't going to wait for you. It's not going to pause until you feel more confident, until your fears disappear, or until your situation is exactly how you want it to be. Life keeps moving. Time keeps passing. And if you don't make the choice to move with it, you'll wake up one day and realize you've been standing still in a world that never stops. at the danger of waiting for the perfect moment. It convinces you that you're being smart, careful, strategic, but what it's really doing is holding you back, robbing you of progress, keeping you trapped in a cycle of hesitation. And slowly, quietly, it erodes your confidence and dulls your drive. But here's the truth. You are capable, even if you don't feel ready. You are worthy, even if the path ahead is uncertain. You don't need permission, you don't need perfection, and you definitely don't need to wait for everything to fall into place. All you need is to decide that you've waited long enough. Decide that your dreams are worth more than your fears. Decide that today, right now, is the moment you start. When you begin to act, something powerful happens. You start building momentum, you start seeing results, you gain confidence, not because everything is going smoothly, but because you're showing yourself what you're made of. You're proving to yourself that you're stronger than your excuses and braver than your fears. And guess what? The more you embrace imperfection, the more freedom you feel. You'll stop worrying about failing because you'll understand that every mistake is just another step forward. You'll stop comparing yourself to others because you'll be too busy building your own lane. You'll stop waiting to feel confident because you'll realize that confidence is built not by standing still, but by showing up and doing the work. Progress is not about taking perfect steps. It's about taking steps, period. And every step, no matter how small, gets you closer to the life you're meant to live. You weren't created to stay stuck. You were created to rise, to grow, to evolve. You were made for more. So stop waiting, stop second guessing, stop putting your life on hold for a tomorrow that may never come. This is your time. This is your moment. Start where you are, use what you have, do what you can, and keep moving forward. Because the difference between the life you dream of and the life you settle for is action. And with this, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be willing to try, willing to learn, willing to rise again and again. The perfect moment isn't coming, but you can make this moment perfect by choosing to start right here,